Yeah. You wanna press?
Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another very messy, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, very messy hobby tip. Oh, for bollock's sake. Right, sorted. Right, so what we're going to be doing today, we're going to actually be looking at, let's start again. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another hobby tip. What we're going to be looking at today, what the fuck is this shit under it? Oh, fucking hell. Mess everywhere. What we're going to be doing today, on a rather fucking awkward-ass hobby tip, we're going to be looking at a pretty cool Vallejo product, actually, which is Vallejo Chipping Medium. Now, this stuff I've been using on my stompa because I wanted a bit of variation in chipping effects. I can paint chipping effects, absolutely no problem, but this stuff just gives a little bit of an extra effect. So what I'm going to be showing you guys is how this stuff works and how to use it. So, join me again in a second and I will have some stuff set up. Okie dokie guys, so we've got a little bit of a plastic card set up in, it's very, very bright. Very, very bright. There we go, maybe it's a little bit better. Oh, doesn't matter anyway. But whatever, so we've got a little bit of plastic card set up here. This is just a little dented armour plate that I've quickly just scratched up. And what we're going to be doing is, we're going to be, basically, the chipping medium, you paint down a metal colour, and then you paint this over the top, and then you pick it away. But I'm going to show you a bit more in depth of how to use it. So what we're going to be doing first is we're going to just quickly undercoat this armour plate in some black. Just because it works, I found it works better when you have black underneath because it adds as a secondary layer in case you scrape two more of it off. So I'm just gonna paint that up like that. Now you can see some of the little details that I've put in it, some little dings, scratches and gouges and whatnot. And we're gonna leave that to dry. Okie doke, so now this is the black's dry. What we're going to be doing, we're going to paint down a secondary coat of bolt gunmetal, or whatever you prefer to use. You can dry brush it, whatever. I find you get best results when you just paint it straight on like this, because bearing in mind, once we start chipping away, a lot of the detail will reveal itself as well. So I'm just going to paint that on. You don't have to be particularly careful at this point, just slather it on there. Make sure you've got good coverage though, it always helps. And then we're going to leave that to dry. Okie dokie, so once the silver has, well, the metal colour that you desire has dried, you were going to apply the chipping medium. Now this stuff, I don't believe it requires a shake, but I always do anyway because it's just a habit when I get a bottle of anything. The stuff is pretty much odourless, it doesn't smell at all. And in regards to the viscosity, it's quite gloopy. I'd probably say it's almost like a varnish in regards to how gloopy it is. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're just going to lather some up on the brush. And again, you can be really liberal with this stuff. Just paint it all over it like that. Make sure you've got good coverage. What happens sometimes is if the piece that you're actually using is a little bit damp, it will pull. Pulling at the edges. So like water on a car window. You know when you roll it into your car and then roll it up, it kind of all squidges together. It does that. So give it a really liberal, quite decent coat of it. Make sure you're getting onto all the little nooks and crannies and whatnot. In regards to drying time, I'm not actually sure how long it takes to dry. So what I'll do, I'll time it from now, and then we'll see how long it actually takes to fully dry. Okay, so join us. Oh, always remember to obviously wash your brush afterwards, otherwise it'll gloop it all up. But anyway, I'll get back to you guys in a second. Okie dokie, so having roughly timed how long it actually takes to dry, it takes about 10 minutes to dry, depending on how thick you have it. In fact, if I just show you guys down here, where obviously it's pooled on my vise, it's still, you can see there it's still liquidy, but up here it's fine. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go over this with a colour. Now, you can go over it with pretty much any colour. However, I have discovered that metallics don't work on this, so you couldn't put another metallic over it and then scrape it away, I don't think. It just doesn't work. I tried it with with a lighter silver and just didn't do anything. So what we're going to be using, we're just going to be using some blue. Just pop that on my palette down there, maybe a bit more. Find my brush. There it is. Just give it a bit of a clean. It's a bit dirty in that mug. So yeah. So what you're going to do now? This is where you've got to be quite quick at painting, because as soon as the paint goes on to the chipping medium, what happens is it dries pretty much instantly. So if you go over it over again and again and again in one place, it'll clump and it won't look that good. I mean, it can look like, you know, thick lathered on paint if you want that effect. But what we're going to do, we're just going to go quite quick. There we go. See, as you can see there, where I did that last stroke, it's kind of gone all thick and gloopy. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave that to dry and come back in just a second. Okay, so now that the top layer, well, the coloured layer has dried, you guys will notice, if I just zoom in a little bit, it's kind of crackled, and it has that effect of, you know, the crackle spray paint that you get, that you spray on stuff, it makes everything look really old. It's got that effect. Now, if you want, you can just leave it at this stage, because it looks, you know, worn, it looks like it's, you know, had loads of dings and scratches and stuff. That's another way you can use it. What I tend to do, though, is I tend to have at it with a little bit of a stick. Now, I found for the best way of doing this is to use a cotton bud and get some warm water. There we go, Enter the Wolf Time. Well, it was a mug, but I broke the handle off it, and now it's my Enter the Wolf Time paint pot. Hey, you got branded merchandise now. How cool is that? If you want a mug, let me know, and I'll try and get one sorted out for you. But yeah, so cotton bud, or Q-tip as they are called in across the pond, and some warm water. And what you do, you literally just dab it on in areas that you want to remove the paint. It tends to work best if you dab it on over areas where it's already cracked. Then what you do is you have at it with a little bit of a stick or a pokey device of some description. And let me just get whatever the shit was on the end of that off. And literally all you do is just peel it away, just scrape at it, and as you can see, it just peels off. There we go. We'll do some up here as well. And as you can see, the way you pick at it determines the kind of chips that you want, whether or not you want actual full-on dirty great big chunks taken out, or whether you just want some light chipping. It's really up to you guys. Sometimes it also helps as well if you have a bit of a tissue, so that you can wipe some of the excess off. And again, guys, you can do this a lot easier at home when you don't have a camera in front of you. There we go, we're just picking and scratching at it. Let's give it another bit of a wipe. Okay, so there we have a really cool chipped paint look. Now what I like to do is I like to go one stage further, and what you can do, you can use a wash on this stuff. I normally use a blue wash because I like the way the blue kind of goes onto the silver, makes it look like a blue metal kind of colour, but you can just as easily use some umber shade or some Badab black or whatever. I'm just going to try a little bit of umber shade at this moment in time, and literally all you do is you get some on your brush. I'm going to water it down a little bit though, because it's a bit thick, this umber shade, because you don't want it to completely ruin it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paint it on like that. So maybe have a little bit. Oh shit, you didn't even see that, it wasn't even in shot. There we go. Paint it on a little bit more, make it look a bit dirty and stuff like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that to dry for a little bit, and I'll join me again in a second. Okie dokie, so once that's pretty much dry, you should have a chipped armour plate that looks something like this. Now, with the chipping medium, well, it leaves the top layer of paint quite vulnerable to even more flaking off once it's dried. So what it's best to do is if you get a bit of just a bit of matte varnish and then just go over it, just to lock everything in, just like that. And that's pretty much the Vallejo chipping medium for you. You can also get some other effects as well. I've got these here that I prepared earlier. So you've got really battered armour there. This is using a blue wash to make it look just a little bit more shimmery and more shiny, as you can see. So yeah, guys. I'll put a link in the doobly-doo down below if anybody wants to get themselves some of the chipping medium, wherever the fuck I put the bottle. There it is. It's quite a big bottle, so you get quite a large amount when you compare it to the size of, say, like a regular Vallejo bottle. So you get quite a bit. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and see you guys again next time. See you now. Goodbye.